There was this guy I know. Let's call him Raj. Raj was, well, he was like a lot of us. He worked hard, tried his best, but deep down, he always felt like he wasn't enough. At work, he thought, why can't I be as smart as everyone else? With his friends, he'd think, they're all doing better than me. One evening, after a rough day, he was sitting quietly when his grandfather noticed him looking down. His grandfather walked up, sat beside him. Without saying a word, his grandfather showed him an old clay pot. It had cracks running all through it. He asked, "Raj, what do you see?" Raj shrugged. "It's broken." His grandfather smiled. "Look closer." Raj noticed tiny flowers growing along the cracks in the pot. "What's this?" he asked. His grandfather replied, "This pot has carried water for years. Every time it leaked through those cracks, it watered the ground, and flowers grew. You see, the cracks aren't a weakness. They're part of what makes it beautiful. It's the same with us, Raj. The flaws we see in ourselves, they're not something to hide. They're what make us unique. They're where our light shines through." I love that story because it reminds me of something important. We all have cracks, we all have flaws and scars, but those don't make us broken, they make us human. Do you know what makes you special? It's not about being perfect, it's not about having it all figured out, it's about showing up, it's about being you. Take a moment to breathe. Life can be overwhelming sometimes, can't it? The expectations from peers, family, work, and society can feel like a heavy weight pressing down on us, making us question if we're really good enough. If we don't hit certain milestones, like the right job, relationship, or home, by a specific age, we start to believe something's wrong with us, that we're broken in some way. You are not alone in feeling like this. But here's what sets people apart. It's the decision to keep moving forward. Think about it. The people you admire the most, they've struggled, they've stumbled, they've doubted themselves, but they didn't let those cracks define them. Instead, they used them to grow, to bloom, to shine. So, what about you? Instead of hiding your flaws, what if you embrace them? What if you saw them as part of your story? Part of what makes you, you? Maybe you're too hard on yourself. Maybe you've been comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. But here's the truth. You are enough, just as you are, cracks and all. Think of a tree. It doesn't grow overnight. It faces storms, droughts, and sometimes harsh winters. But it doesn't stop growing. Why? Because its roots are strong, and it keeps reaching for the sun. Start small. Celebrate your little victories. Did you get out of bed today? That's a win. Did you try, even though it felt hard? That's courage. And remember, you're not on this journey alone. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. And if you don't have them yet, that's okay too. Be your own cheerleader for now. You'll attract the right people. The next time you feel like you're not good enough, remember Raj's story. Look at your cracks differently. They're not something to fix, they're where your strength, your light, and your beauty come from. Let me leave you with this. You don't have to have all the answers today. You don't need to be perfect tomorrow. But promise yourself this, you'll keep going. One step at a time, one day at a time. Feeling good enough takes consistent practice. It's time to practice, because you are good enough. You always have been, and you always will be.